What's up, everybody? It's another fine day here in Stockholm. Beautiful sunny day. And it's time for some coffee. Cheers. I should work on getting like a sponsored mug or something at some point for this show, you know? Like maybe a Room on Fire mug, Twitch mug. I don't know. Something like that. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, so it's Monday. And we just finished another tournament. I say we loosely. I say like we CS as a whole in this sort of scenario because I wasn't actually there at Bucharest. I was at a friend's wedding that I couldn't get out of. It was fun. It was good. Great wedding, all that jazz. But that meant that I couldn't go to Bucharest. So Anders and Metas were there along with Sato and Henry. And as far as the commentary is concerned, and from what I did get to watch and what I did get to listen to, it was quite a fun event. And for the most part, yes, it was a fun event because Virtus Plow showed up again. And more importantly, as Yanko was basically tweeting, Neo showed up. And it's like Matrix Neo, who's basically just wrecking everybody in front of him in his way. And I mean, it's what's fun about it, man. I'm just going to give some general thoughts on the whole event, right? But what I love about it is apparently, winner interview comes out. Neo does the interview. And afterwards, under his breath, right? In true Neo fashion, right? Because Neo's not the outspoken type, right? He's not the guy. He's super humble. He's not the kind of guy who's going to talk shit. He's not the kind of guy who's going to create a stir. E-League, did that whole video series on who was the greatest, right? The GOAT, right? Between Forrest and Neo, and Neo's the kind of guy who's basically, he'll never say it's him, right? So sure enough, a video comes out. Forrest, he's like, yeah, I'm the greatest, right? And Neo's just like, I think Forrest is the greatest. But that, when it comes to game time, Neo's sitting there, he's just like, yeah, Forrest, okay, you're the greatest? Well, allow me to demonstrate why you are not. I mean, maybe it was, maybe not. But I mean, it's just great that Neo is Neo, right? He's just a class act. And so during the whole thing, or he does that interview, right? And then under his breath, he's saying, I'm getting too old for this shit. It just sums up Neo so well, right? Because he's just, he'll play the part, he'll do everything, class act, right? And then under it, he's just like, damn, I mean, just so exciting. And it's incredible that he's able to still get up to this kind of level where he'll just, just completely dominate a finals, pull off crazy clutches in the semis, and just all tournament long, right? Just beast. And this is from a guy and from a roster that have stuck together. It's the longest standing, Virtus Pro is the longest standing CSGO roster that we have, right? They got together just before DreamHack Winter 2013, and it's nuts. They're still going strong. And the fact that they are able to survive, basically, with this roster, that they believe that this 5-man roster has all the tools necessary to persist and continue and win tournaments such as DreamHack Bucharest, such as E-League, right? Showing that they, they'll have their downs, right? And Neo has certainly had his downs where he's been stuck wondering what his role in the team is. Is he support? Is he star? Is he op? Is he not? Is he rifler? Like, what is his role in the team? He's done it all. And yet he's still able to come back and just, you'll give him a role, give him his job, and he'll still just do it to the best of his ability. And, well, seems like recently, best of his ability has been pretty goddamn good. Because HLTV gave him the MVP for that tournament, right? And, and all the Reddit basically just blowing up about it, right? Like, oh, Forrest, MVP last tournament, Neo, MVP this tournament. Is this it? What's going on? Is it the return of the greats? Can we see this kind of level? Because it's for me, it's interesting looking, just looking at the stats, right? And you always got to take those with a grain of salt. But it is really interesting to see, a player like Neo, who's got so much experience over such a huge amount of time, span of time playing as a professional player, right? Who's just going to show up and wreck. And then Cloud9, you have the young players who are still trying to figure it out, right? Stewie has had yet another tough match, right? Not really leading the way for Cloud9 as we've kind of expected him. And I think right now he's in that phase where he has to figure it out. They are improving as a team. Clearly they're improving as a team. But, just to single out Stewie, right? He's taken a little bit of a dip in the stats. And so you got to wonder what's going on there. If he's just adapting, if, it's a mindset thing that he has to try and get over that hump, or if it's more of a team thing because he is taking a little bit more of a role in the team that's putting a little bit more pressure on him. And so he's having to learn how to deal with that sort of thing. And you look at, Neo, players like Neo, like Taz, Pasha, but Taz and Neo in particular, right? And it was fitting that they took that picture together at the end, where Taz, it's just the shot with the trophy, right? And it's one of the two oldest players basically in Counter-Strike that have been going for so long, and it's almost a sort of scenario where it's like they've done it all. Neo, at least, with the rifle, the in-game lead role. Taz playing support, playing, he's even had carry games this year, right? Like Taz has even come up big and just wrecked teams in front of him, right? And he's also been an in-game leader. VP are one of those teams also where it just like bounces, who feels like in-game leading today? And it's like between Neo, Taz, and Snacks basically going back and forth. So playing hot potato, right, with the in-game lead role. But that's the fun thing about this team. That's what's so fascinating about Virtus Pro, is that there's just so much depth to it all, that they're capable of so much, that they clearly think that as well. They're not making any roster changes, right? Even when they're at the very bottom and everybody's hitting on them, hitting them saying, like, oh, this is the worst slump they've ever had. It's time to make a change. Something's got to go. And they're still hanging in there saying, no, we don't feel that way. We're making adjustments. We're definitely learning, and we're trying to figure out how to make it work. But we don't feel like this is the end of the road, right? And so it's just like this whole this tournament and this period, right? Especially with the fact that VP Star Series, right, just got bounced out, and so within a week, able to just come right back, and then nope, another international tournament, some tough talent going to be here, some tough opponents. Oh yeah, we're going to win the whole thing, right? All right then, right? It's just so much fun to follow this team, and I don't think that any of this should detract from their victory. Any of this other stuff that, trying to create drama, it's like this whole sign business and, knocking on the crowd and all that sort of stuff, right? You get different crowds at different tournaments, right? You get different places. That's the whole point. You're going around the world, you're experiencing different cultures, and so you'll have different crowds, obviously, with the different cultures. And so, in Bucharest this time around, we got to see a little bit more of like a young crowd, it seems, who were kind of just, trolling a little bit. And I gotta give credit to the casters, at the event, because that isn't exactly an easy sort of scenario, and it's not the first time that we've casters have had things like that happen to them, right? Sato and Henry apparently had chocolate bars thrown at them a couple times during the game. Apparently Henry got hit in the face with one. So it's stuff like that where it's going to test your patience, and basically your ability to focus as a commentator. Speaking personally, we've had that happen at the beginning of the year with Leipzig, DreamHack Leipzig, right, where a few of the guys. Apparently, what I learned afterwards is that it was the guy's birthday, and they got really drunk. But unfortunately, what ended up happening, and this is also the guy I think who rushed the analyst desk at the end and it caused that scandal, right? Where security, the guys can just walk up to the analyst desk. But the match before that, those same guys were messing with Anders and I the entire time, because there was actually no space between the commentary desk. It was on the ground in front of the stage, and there was maybe a meter and a half, a meter of space between the grill that's kind of separating off the commentary desk and where the fans could interact with us. And these same guys, they were like putting stuff on the table, trying to talk to us while we were casting, trying to, and sometimes that sort of stuff is just going to happen, right? And you have to just roll with it is the main thing. Obviously it's not ideal, but you're just going to have to roll with it. And so I have to give credit to Sato Henry, for being able to just continue on. Obviously there's the clapping thing as well, where Sato said to cut that kid's hands off. It's these sorts of things that are just going to test you as far as, are you able to just continue to focus and do your job when the conditions might not be ideal, right? And so definitely a bit of a mix. As far as the signs are concerned, that's also come up where the people are saying that, oh, this is definitely. The thing is like, you got to think for a second. DreamHack, they're trying to keep their eyes on everything. There's 10 different things going on, 15 different things going on at the same time, right? When you're doing a production, they're trying to keep their eyes on everything, making sure that all of the technical issues that could go wrong are not going wrong, and then also trying to keep the event going. And so these kids, they're obviously thinking, okay, we got away with a lot this weekend. We can just totally mess with them and make these signs. And so from what I understand, they were thrown out afterwards. It was immediately spotted, and they were thrown out afterwards as soon as it came up on. And so there you go, right? But I don't think that we should make a bonfire out of the whole thing. You can be sure that DreamHack, personnel are spotting into the crowd. Admins are walking around. It's not like those guys were doing it the whole event, and it's definitely not like they were in cahoots with VP. I think there was more a case of these guys are just trolling the stream. And they got their result. They got the desired result. Everybody's flipping out about the signs when I think literally these guys are just looking to troll you and mess with people. And so, you know, I don't think that should spoil the event at all. I think everybody should just be focusing on the 6 CS that we had from Bucharest. The fact that, Dignitas making progress, Envy put up a bit of a fight, but then Cloud9 making the finals. I mean, Shroud himself, right? Acknowledging the fact that they've struggled for the past year, and they finally made it into a finals, an international event finals once again, right? And so I think that there's a lot to take away from this event, and we shouldn't be focusing on the drama bullshit, that's happening on the side. Rather, let's look at Neo with an insane performance, as well as all of VP stepping up. But Neo really, a class act kind of performance right there, and then Cloud9 making it to the finals to go up against their eternal nemesis, because Cloud9 have never beaten VP in a best of 3, right? So just their eternal nemesis, they know that they're going to have to play, just this insane game to be able to go up against VP and take them down. And well, it didn't happen this time, but more experience for Cloud9. And I definitely, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how they perform over the coming weeks, because it's going to be sick. So guys, that's it for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.